I think it probably makes sense.
Ready whenever you
Oh,
are, Erin.
I need to
Yes.
turn my speaker off, sorry. Okay, you unmuted?
I'm unmuted.
Okay, you're recording.
All right, welcome everyone. I'd like to call to order this Thursday, March 20th, 2025 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Happy spring. With us tonight, we have Janet Peckinpah via Zoom. Hi, Janet. I don't know if you can hear
Hey,
us.
Carol, you're seeing the real me tonight, you guys.
Yeah, looks
Starting to grow out.
And then, let's see, we have Bob O'Connor, Andy Rubin, Bob Reinhardt, myself, Carol Snow Chair, Mike Bugda, John Duza, Max Caroon, and our town planner, Aaron Mannix. We have, first item on our agenda is just notification of a public hearing that will be coming in April 17th for 25-05 300 Regional Road and 351 Crouch Road. That's the school's grass turf to synthetic turf. Next item on the agenda for receipt and possible action is 25-07 86 Bradley Road, map 38, lot 81, zone D. Owner is 86 Bradley Realty LLC, applicant Charles Bandera. Site plan modification in downtown village district, major alteration for section 30.4.186 to cosmetically update the exterior of the existing building, existing office building, which includes construction of a new front overhang, replacement of roof shingles, replacement and modification of windows and front door, replacement of vinyl siding with party board, painting of building, and new signage. Someone here, hi. You could identify yourself.
My name is Charles Bandera. I'm the contractor that's gonna be doing this project at 86 Bradley. So.
And Charles, Brianna Hill is on the line as well,
Also,
and she's
yeah.
one of the property owners, although there she
And
is.
baby.
Can you guys hear me okay? I'm sorry, my internet's acting up. Okay.
Yes.
Apologize, I'm mom duty right now, so
Welcome, no worries.
sorry.
Do whatever you need to.
This would be too much of a discussion, I don't think. Britt or Charles, did you want to just walk through basically what it is that you're doing? I'm happy to screen share the renderings.
Yes,
If that's a
definitely. So
Good
for-
start.
Yes, for the exterior, we're gonna be changing the exterior siding, which is right now it's vinyl siding. We want to replace with the hardy board, which I have a sample over here with me. Colors that we want to change the color as well, which is existing. We want to have a different color. We are planning to add an awning in the front of the building, which we don't have it now. We want to add that awning in front. We plan to change all the windows in there, like basically keeping the same size for the old everything, but one window in the front with that we have an arch on the top, or we want to have that square. So on the imprint and right there, so we want to add the front signage for the new business that's gonna be conducting the building. New roofing, which is gonna be asphalt shingle that I have the same sample with colors over here as well. So gutters, new gutters, which we intend to have a copper gutter look into it, not the white or black. It's like more like the copper look. Basically, that's what we planning to do to the exterior. And like new ensconces for the front, both sides. This is gonna be new ensconces, new doors as well. Yep, basically that's it.
Or do you have a color one that you can?
Yes, I can show you the existing conditions, and I think you'll recognize the building for mostly because of the front door color, right?
Yeah, it's right across from Rington.
Exactly. So, yeah, this is the existing facade with some dated arched windows, and those are from the rendering that you can see are going to get squared off. And the new awning will come up to cover the door, and this vinyl siding will be replaced with the hardy board. And the color that you chose is similar to the black house on
also Post Road,
Yeah.
as well as Moxie.
That dark kind of
Former Moxie.
charcoal black.
Yeah.
The former Moxie, yes, but was originally
Colored.
Billy Plunkett black.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
I do have those colored.
renderings I can pull up as well for you.
Does the landscaping stay pretty much the same?
For now, yes, I think Brianna, the owner, she might.
Yeah,
be-
I haven't been there in season yet, obviously, so I don't have any clue really what's there. So obviously we would do some pruning and some cleaning up, but I didn't want to, propose anything like that because I don't really know what it looks like in season. I think there's some sorry. There's some this is easier when the meeting was at 5. It's much easier at 7. I'm sorry about that. So I mean,
Right.
of course, I'd love to. We're putting a lot of money in to update the curb appeal. I'm sure at some point or another we'll want to put some fresh plants and things like that in there. But I just didn't have that plan put together or anything like that because I haven't seen what's in bloom or whatever. So I think mostly just pruning and kind of cleaning up what's there, and then coming back to you guys if it feels like it needs a touch up, I guess.
Okay, thanks.
I was
Yep.
just, wasn't sure because the rendering has like nothing around it.
Right.
Oh yeah, I
think
couldn't.
it's just for ease of-
That's just CAD.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
I
okay.
couldn't. Yeah, sorry.
You have a view of the sound in that one.
There's a great
view. So these are the colors, the color scheme. And this, Brianna did go before ACCA at their last meeting. And really their biggest takeaway, some were the drawings. Some of those drawings didn't necessarily reflect the scale of the awning. And the committee recommended that she get an architect involved to assist in some of the drawings. We ended up finding the original architectural drawings for the building and passed those along, and those, in putting that information, was able to get a better scale drawing, so.
Oh, and I actually was able to get my architect out there. So he went in and those are true drawings as well. So they're true to scale. Because the ones that I had were off a little bit, and so I got him out there, and the ones that I provided you that are black and white, those are from him. So those are brand new.
Great. I did provide a staff report for you this is considered because of the replacement of materials and the changes in the facade. It does constitute a major alteration in the downtown village district. However, the holding of a public hearing is discretionary for the commission as to whether or not you think these changes will have a minimal impact on the public view. You can forego the public hearing if you feel that's the case. So I sort of left that resolution as an option for you, or if you wanted to schedule a public hearing, the earliest date would be the April 17th meeting.
Yeah, my thoughts, since it's basically cosmetic, that we don't need a public hearing. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah. Third, second, third.
Yeah.
Max, I haven't seated you, but Aaron, can alternates participate in non-public hearing agenda items, or should I go ahead and seat Max?
You should see him.
Okay,
Yes, for full participation in the meeting.
then I'd like to seat Max Perun, and we have one absence, so upgrade from alternate to regular. Commissioner? Okay.
Two absences.
Thank you. That's right. Okay, so, any further questions or comments about this application?
The siding is all around the whole, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Same siding, curled and target, same.
It's gonna be a nice difference, I think.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? In that case, could I have a motion?
I'll provide a motion.
Andy?
You
got Andy.
got it. I'll just
I was looking that way.
That's fine.
Voted. That the Madison Planning and Zoning Commission approve application number 25-07, 86 Bradley Road, map 38, lot 81, zone D, owner 86 Bradley Realty LLC, applicant Charles Bandiera, site plan modification in downtown Village District, major alteration for section 30-4.1A.6 to cosmetically update the exterior of the existing office building which includes construction of a new front overhang, replacement of roof shingles, replacement and modification of windows and front door, replacement of vinyl siding with hardy board, painting of building, and new signage as detailed in revised application materials dated 3/19/25 with the following conditions. One, that the zoning enforcement officer be notified at least 48 hours prior to commencement of any regulated activity. Two, any new site lighting shall be 3,000 K temperature and dark sky compliant. Three, any changes to the landscape beyond maintenance trimming shall return to the commission for removal and approval. In the event that changes to the approved plans are required as a result of other agency permitting to support the proposed activity, the Madison Planning and Zoning Commission reserves the right to review said changes and may require modification of this approval. This approval is made based upon the finding that these facade improvements are consistent with the downtown village district design standards. The proposed use is permitted in the district and all standards, prerequisites, and conditions of the regulations have been met. The effective date of this approval is April 3rd, 2025.
Have a second?
You got a second?
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, guys.
Let's start.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
All right, next on our agenda, we have 25-08, 26, 32, and 38 Opening Hill Road. Map 76, lots 6-1, 6-2, and 6-3, zone RU1. Owners Dominic D'Agostino and Mac Building LLC. Applicants Mac Building LLC and Dominic D'Agostino. Lot line revisions to previously approved 3-lot subdivision for AG Rally Trust et al.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome.
I'm Bob Doan, engineer and land surveyor here on behalf of Mac Builders. The 3 lots that we're discussing tonight started with a pre-split that was done for the rear lot, and that went into a subdivision plan that was approved in, get the date point,
Aaron, can you pull it up so
in 23.
But Janet can see.
Janet can see too?
Yes, I can pull up the proposed lot line revision. I
Okay.
can go back and get the other maps from the previous application if you want, but if you just want to
Okay.
focus on the subdivision.
Yeah, I'll just focus on the subdivision. I just wanted to, because the Lot A in the back 20 was the pre-split before
Yes.
we got to the approved subdivision. And so now we're proposing, there were 4 lots. And we're proposing to combine 2 of the lots into Lot 3. So we have 26 Opening Hill, 38 Opening Hill, and this was 20 Opening Hill that's built on. And because this building changed on 38 and the building changed on 26, we had to adjust 2 side yards because of section 2.9. And our setbacks increased. So fortunately, we had the ability to do an even swap with this property line. So we moved it out to get our 48.1. I think we needed 47.8 or something for computed to. And with this combination, this lot becomes a 3.8 acre lot. But because of the size, we have it 58.2 feet away from the side yard coming in. Because of that, we had to make the access to 26 a right of way. And so in doing that, they lost their feet on the strip. So we had to put this back in, which was taken out with a previous modification that you reviewed and approved and never got filed. So we're going from the original subdivision to this subdivision. We have, on my plan, I have implemented, I've shown all the site development that is occurring. This is houses occupied, and these two are under construction. That's it.
Thanks. So my first question is, how do houses just suddenly get bigger?
I was just gonna say, what is the nature of the use of the
I have a
building?
question about that. Somebody wants something else?
That's a
Bigger
very good
kitchen.
answer. We were given a set of plans to obviously to do the site plan. We did the site plan, all the setbacks were met your zoning. And then the buyer of the house wanted a different house, and they went to a bigger house without keeping us in the loop. And nor the town. So the town discovered that the house that's being built, house that was actually given to the building official, didn't match the house that we gave to the sanitarian and to Maria and presented actually to wetlands. And so we had to backtrack and fix things. And so that's how it
Here
happened.
we are.
Here we are. So here I am.
So the two buildings have already been approved separately from this.
Yes, yes, we're, because of the increase in size,
You
I
have to
had
do, you have to do.
to resubmit to wetlands and to health. And I'm doing the same on this one. We've already, did the resubmittal on this. I submitted this one to, Maria, today, and will be, before wetlands for the modification of the property. And also adding approval since we received the initial, approval.
I think you have plenty of land to work with.
It's very fortunate that we did
It really
because we get in there cutting concrete.
Mhm.
Sunshine. And, but anyway, we were, fortunate that it all worked out. Or so far, you know, I got to tell you that, it was such an awkward situation with the town that Aaron has turned my emails into spam. And all my emails bounced back today.
Rejected.
And I tried to call her and tell her, and she wouldn't even answer the phone. So I have no idea.
It's a series of unfortunate
I
events
know.
for you, Bob.
I know,
I mean,
I have no idea how much time it's going to take me to make up for all this.
Right, so the,
Stuff happens.
Yeah.
I can't explain the spam. I have historically received
How to change it.
emails from your firm.
Change the-
But it is the builder's building permits. There are no additional inspections occurring at this point until these matters are resolved. And so it was important to get this application in before you. Lot line revisions associated with a subdivision are an administrative approval by the commission and require a return to the commission. Typically, if lot 26 was not, or, number 26, this rear lot that was created before the subdivision, that's really pulled in because of that shared property line with the subdivision. And so that's why that has occurred. And one of the questions was owner's signature on the properties, because both 32 and 38 Opening Hill are still owned by Mac Building LLC, and Mr. D'Agostino, Dominic D'Agostino, owns number 26 that's already transferred. And he has provided us with his written authorization today to submit that application, clearly on his behalf.
That's what I was trying to email you.
Yes, thank you, Bob. So now the lots do comply. Bob's office is the one who confirms the, the coverage and the revised site development plans. And it was the surveyor who assisted in.
Okay, so the surveyor signed off on everything already.
Yes, Scott Payton has prepared the subdivision plan, and he has signed this with a signature. So this is the actual plan that gets, will be filed.
You promise this will be it?
And there's nothing predicated on this approval. That this is all standalone by itself approval. It doesn't require something else to occur beforehand. This,
No,
No, the lot line revision is administrative through, before development continues,
Can
the
continue.
inland wetlands process
That's what
needs
he does.
to
Yeah.
Let's
complete, yes.
review again.
So I have three questions.
Go ahead.
One is for Erin, because I don't know the regs as well as you. Are there any requirements with respect to the utility easement line and setbacks? Because now the utility easement line is flipped and it's right on the property line. I'm assuming there's not, but
There's not an additional setback
okay,
off of an
so it doesn't
easement.
matter. That's,
Right. You're already encumbered by the easement. There's not a further encumbrance
Okay.
beyond
Okay.
into that. The setback will run from the property line.
Okay.
the second one was, it sounds like you may do this later, but has the building design been reviewed for any other deviations that might not be too close?
I'm not sure that the final plans have come
Okay.
in.
But that-
For
Oh.
38. I think 26 is buttoned up as
Okay.
far as,
But that's a process that happens as it comes in.
right, but the
Well-
footprint is static, right?
Yeah, I know, but if they're gonna change.
These
one
hou-
thing,
these
then
homes are
they-
built.
They can change another thing in that.
yeah, you can see it.
these homes are built.
Oh, okay.
They are fully constructed. They're looking to close them up and do
Okay.
interior work currently.
I'd like to know. And the last thing was, there were like two different revisions of the abutters list.
Yes,
It
so
seemed like it was March 17th was when it was created.
I revised the abutters list and sent that as part of my staff comments to Bob because it is in an RU zone. It's a 500 foot instead of the 150. So I updated that. I might have an extra in there off of number 20 Opening Hill Road.
Yeah,
Which is moot because 20, in reviewing this, number 20 Opening Hill Road is essentially staying as the approved lot from the subdivision.
Mhm.
Even though the commission modified that previously, that map was never executed. So there was no need to include that
Okay.
lot in this application.
and so there's no notification.
No, it's
Necessary.
the requirement is to submit the list of abutters, but there was no requirement to notify.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Are we pretty much in agreement that this
I think we could
can be approved? If so, could I have a motion?
I'll do the motion.
Like that? To read the
I will.
draft.
Voted that the Madison Planning and Zoning Commission approved application number 25-08, 26, 32, and 38 Opening Hill Road, map 76, lots 6-1, 6-2, and 6-3, zone RU-1, owners Dominic D'Agostino and Mac Building LLC, applicants Mac Building LLC and Dominic D'Agostino. Lot line revisions to previously approved 3-lot subdivision for AG Rowley Trust et al. As shown on map entitled Lot Line Modification Maps Lands of Mac Building LLC 20, 32, 38 Opening Hill Road in Dominic D'Agostino, 26 Opening Hill Road by Catin Surveying LLC dated October 31st, 2024. Revised to February 14th, 2025. Effective date of this approval shall be April 4th, 2025, and upon filing of signed Mylar on the land records.
Thank you, Mike. Can I have a second? Bob O'Connor. Any further discussion? All in favor? Vote aye. Okay, it's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Can turn my email back.
I don't know, it might be a little early.
To be determined.
It's a probation period. Thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we have 25-09, 251 Boston Post Road, map 35, lot 3, zone R1, owner applicant Mike Boys LLC. This is a site plan modification application for constructed and proposed changes to previously approved site development plan pursuant to section 32 of the planned development district. Previous draft. That's it. Yeah. So welcome. Who's first?
Good evening, Chuck Mandel, the applicant, with Waste. Is here with me tonight, he's the owner. This really doesn't have much to do with the application tonight, but I was asked by my client to share these pictures with you. And we'll just pass them down the line. This was a bit of a surprise when he purchased the property after all the inspections were done. There was a double, there was sheetrock that was doubled up. And once that sheetrock was torn down, there had been, you can just pass those as you look at them, so I don't hold people up. But you can pass one time. So there was a significant fire, place almost had to be completely gutted. Thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to repair it. That's it. So we're here tonight for some modifications that were done to the site. Some of these happened during construction. There were some when we put the septic system in. I'm sure people drove by. They remember all those huge concrete structures sitting. Well, right now they're all underground. So all that material, all the voids of those septic systems, was quite a bit of. It wasn't actually fill that was brought on the site. It was actually due to the volume that was taken up by the septic system. So a lot of that fill that appeared to be brought onto the site was actually almost 400 cubic yards of, there was like a 5,000 gallon septic tank. There are two 4,500 gallon tanks, and there's a pump chamber also. So these are huge, lots of blasting had taken place for that. I'm glad to see there's a quorum tonight, number one. And number two, Erin was kind enough to send me a punch list of items to talk about tonight, and I'm going to address them line by line. I don't know if you want me to read each one and then address it, or do you just look at the quotes and then I can just answer one at a time if you want to do that. Either way.
So,
Is this the list that was,
Yeah, this is a
Talking about
16 item
staff
punch
comments?
list that I got.
Yeah.
It was 4 o'clock.
we saw a short version, I think, that's
That is a short
filed.
version.
There's no shorter version.
There was something that
Not
was,
if you were.
There's
Yeah.
16 comments
okay,
on this. Did you see that?
Yes.
I believe so.
okay.
well, before you go any further.
Yeah.
The point of seeing these photographs is for what purpose?
My client had asked that that I share these with the commission.
Okay.
That's the point. That's for that. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with anything. That was just the commission indulged me to look at them, that's all.
Okay.
And I appreciate it. So let's see, I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you, but let's see. After initial review of the site development plan, which seems to include both existing and proposed conditions, I have several comments as follows. So the first comment was, this property contains and abuts inland wetlands that's subject to a regulated activity permit with Wetlands and Watercourse Agency. The plan is deficient as it does not locate the inland wetland upland review area. The application is deficient, indicates the plans were submitted to as it indicates the plans were submitted to the agency for review. Please note, pursuant to 29.1.1 of the zoning regulations, approval shall be pursued by the applicant in the fashion and timeframe Connecticut general statutes. So the inland wetlands, in regards to the inland wetlands, the parking along Route 1 is substantially as approved. It's actually, the actual edge of the parking is actually further away from the inland wetlands, which is actually on state-owned land. It's an isolated wetland pocket. The Wetlands Commission really had no problem with granting the approvals. There was a well on the property, on the state land property that was filled with gravel. The access roadway to the east of the restaurant was approved by inland wetlands to keep that. We're abandoning that, so that's actually getting removed. It's not to be constructed. The 100-foot review line, it still exists, even if it doesn't show on the plan. Those plans have a lot of information on it. And the 100-foot review line, we're obviously within the 100-foot review for everything. And we can certainly put them on the map if that's a requirement. That's not an issue. And there are maps that were represented to the Inland Wetlands Commission that clearly show the 100-foot review line.
Excuse me, Chuck.
Yeah.
Did you submit these revisions to the Inland Wetlands Agency to
We did
determine
not.
if a modification of the permit is necessary?
We did not. Really, the only.
That was the point of my comment.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Is that required? That's required for the process.
Yes.
Yes, well, the answer is no.
No, correct. I never said it was, but it was de minimis change and nothing substantially changed on there.
This commission doesn't have the authority to determine if the change is de minimis with respect to the Inland Wetlands
Town
Agency's
staff could,
authority.
town staff could make that decision.
Did you request that
No,
information
all I'm
from the
saying- all I'm
wetlands
saying is that
officer?
Well, let me just get,
Let's go through
let's just
each
get through the list line by line, then we can debate how. Also pursuant to 29.1.1, the commission shall immediately refer the application to the advisory committee to community appearance. Staff notes that the next meeting is April 8th. We did not go to APCA for any of this. So that's also a no on 29.1. Let's see, number 2. Yeah, we did have previous approval from APCA, and we haven't had any complaints. No one's driven by and complained about it. So I imagine it's substantially with the APCA approval. The applicant seeking a number of changes from the originally approved site plan, which is titled my Madison Oyster House. I'm just going to see. The proposed plan before you this evening is titled As-Built Plan Site Plan Modification prepared for Mark Boyce. There are no revision dates. Staff recommends that the applicant provide a plan set that accurately reflects the original plan dates and any subsequent revisions. So we can modify the plan, we can provide reference to all revisions to facilitate understanding the sequence of changes. There's a request to increase the amount of impervious surface from 26,480 square feet to 32,976, which is an additional 6,496 square feet. In regards to that, the original, it's still under the original pavement, which was 33,950. So we're still under the original pervious pavement. The request is before to change the parking lot from bituminous concrete.
You skip number 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, the applicant proposed an increase of parking spaces from 65 to 72. We can certainly eliminate those parking spaces and stick with the original 65 spaces. The impervious surface I mentioned. Okay, so 6. The request is before you to change the parking lot from bituminous concrete to oil and stone with gravel overflow. Shown on the plan, the portion of driveway within the state right-of-way will be bituminous concrete. That's required by DOT. We are proposing chip sealing instead of actual paving. Chip sealing is a less expensive way. It looks more rustic than just paving the entire area. It's also hardens after a while, and it can be striped. I don't think the striping lasts as long in the winter because when they're plowing, but it can be striped, and the striping does hold. Okay, number 7, the applicant has installed retaining walls within the parking area that were not on the approved site development plan. These walls change the elevations of the parking lot and affect the circulation of traffic flow. The commission should review the originally approved lot layout and request any additional information to ensure safety and efficiency of vehicular flow. While it's noted that the design engineer has shown a turning radius for a box truck into the lower parking area, it's unclear which direction vehicles will be driving around the lot and whether a vehicle can safely turn from the lower lot around the wall to the driveway if another vehicle is entering. So in regards to the wall, so those walls actually happened, they were due to the septic system. When we were installing the septic system, where the actual leaching galleries were, we encountered ledge. So what happened was contacted the health department. Actually, it was a state system, but we still contacted the health department. There was a lump of ledge right where we were going to put one of the galleys. So we had to, you can bridge the galley system with a pipe. So you have to be 10 feet from the bottom of the ledge. The septic system has to be 10 feet from the ledge. So we extended this pipe and it actually pushed one of the galleys a lot closer to the building. And due to groundwater and ledge, the system has to be a certain height. So we can't lower the system, even though it's a pump system, we still have separating distance for the health code. That created the condition where it was higher than anticipated in the original plan, so a wall had to be put in. It's more of a landscape wall, but it also holds grade for the parking area.
When was that determined, or when did you?
During construction, so that was done whenever that system, remember when the system was put in?
During the summer?
3 months ago, yeah, summer, probably, whenever you saw that concrete disappear.
And this was something that didn't, I'm assuming when you had to put in the septic, you dug deep test pits and or did a geotechnical.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And this
So we
didn't, this
absolutely,
didn't come up,
No,
this
so-
didn't come up?
no, so absolutely we did test holes. So, and this comes up a lot. So we designed, engineers design septic systems. They dig 5 or 6 holes, right? And they say, okay, great, it's right here. The excavator comes in to dig and there's a bulge of ledge that comes through. It's like, so then you react to it. It's not practical to excavate the entire site where the system's going just to see where you can put it. So-
It lasts for 6 days.
Yeah, so yes, we did do test holes, and no, that was an area that we didn't test. Either was, the existing system was there, but for whatever reason, it did not get picked up on the original, soil testing.
Chuck, can I ask you, did Tom Stevens design this reconfigured stone wall on the property, or was this as-built after? and
No,
not
so we were
under
driving by and we saw
your
a wall.
design?
No, the wall was put in, we did not design it.
Okay.
That's it. What number are we up to? 8?
Yeah.
Okay, it's noted that the applicant has also installed additional site lighting that was not on the original approved plan. An updated photometric plan should be submitted to the applicant to ensure the changes are consistent with the master plan. So I did receive a letter from the electrical contractor. I'll read that. The light poles that Mr. Francisco Aluja has installed at his restaurant at 251 Lost Post Road are very slim line and traffic. The pole lights that were approved on the site plan were 3,000 lumens. The lights we installed are 2,700 lumens. They're the same pole lights that were installed at Temple Beth Tikva, and the people of Madison shall thank Mr. Lulesh for beautiful decorations. That's the copy.
That's already in there.
Oh, it is? Oh. Okay. So, yes, there are more lights. Let's see, that was number 8. Okay, so the contractor, the lumens, okay. So the pole lights were actually, we had 17 pole lights that were originally approved. Right now, there are 10 pole lights that are in there. So we reduced it by 7. The lights that weren't shown were the ones, so there are some decorative lights on the stone wall. And then there are some footlights along the walkway, along
The bollards?
the bollards, which are less than 4 feet tall.
So
So
were they in the original plan?
no, those were not in the original plan either. The bollards. The
The bollards were in the plan, all the lights on all of the retaining walls and the stone wall around the
Those full
expanded
lights.
dining area are not on the plan.
Okay, oh, so the small decorative lights along the dining.
And you need the bollards.
The bollards.
I know, that's.
Yeah, there were,
Okay,
there were 9 of them, but we only 6, but that's a space.
sure. Okay. What number we up to?
That was,
Oh, so, okay, that was 8. So we're number 9. Due to the installation of retaining walls within the parking lot, the landscape islands and landscape areas have changed. An updated landscape plan has not been submitted to reflect that the necessary screening or plantings can be achieved in this configuration. I did have a letter from John Cunningham. Did anyone read that? Anyway, so John
Never received
Cunningham
a
is,
letter from John.
What's that?
Cunningham. We have not received a
okay, I
letter
have
from
an email,
John
I think I
Cunningham.
had
So
sent.
that's a plan in here.
Yeah, so, so this was the original plan that John had done for us. This was the approved landscape plan. John said he will modify that and put it's gonna be the same exact plants. They're just gonna be in different configurations of where it's gonna go on.
Same trees, same exact everything, you just have to charge me $3,000 to put 2 walls.
and when do you think the landscaping will get done?
As soon as the weather breaks,
Okay,
I'm waiting for that. It has to be at least 2 weeks or 55 plus degrees the ground for plants to grow in, and we will hydro seed fast growing grass.
Okay, boulder wall was installed along the northern portion of the property, which limits the ability to install buffer plantings.
That's not true.
The-
You can-
Hey, Francisco, let me just,
I know.
okay, let me just finish. Comment after, sorry. So the landscape of the boulders, John Cunningham, most of the plantings are gonna be behind the boulders to screen the neighbors, so, take that comment for what it's worth. But John Cunningham is on it, and he was gonna provide a revised landscape plan.
That'll be submitted shortly.
Yes, that will be submitted prior to any permits or anything, anything being issued for occupancy, for sure. Boulder wall, number 11. The outdoor dining patio has been constructed larger than the approved plans. In addition, stone walls and lighting have been installed surrounding the area. The applicant was approved for 32 outdoor seats, and it's unclear how many seats. So the applicant is still proposing the 32 seats. That hasn't changed at all.
Can I add that?
Sure.
With your permission. So why the patio was increased in square footage is because where the wall ends at the end of the building, there's an entrance over there. So I would lose probably more than 15 to 20 seats from people going in and out. So probably be less seats than 32. That's the patio increase right now. Because where we have to blast, septic came closer to the building.
Okay, thank you. The circular driveway around the building was to be removed and replaced with grass pavers for emergency vehicles. The applicant has eliminated the driveway and planted without the pavers. While the fire marshal has confirmed access for the parking lot, there should be confirmation that the elimination of pavers does not pose a safety threat. So I had asked Sam to go out there yesterday. He went out there, took some measurements, he sent me a letter. We didn't specifically talk about the pavers, but if that is a problem, and if he wants those pavers installed,
He
he'll-
doesn't want that. That was.
Oh, he told you he didn't want
2 years ago, that's why it was out of plan. He said fire trucks will have enough access if they need to.
Yeah, so we don't believe he has a problem without those, that fire truck can get on the site. There are a lot of buildings in town that the fire trucks can't get completely around. Temple being one of them, you can only access, the entire backside is not inaccessible. So there are other buildings, in Madison that you can't get completely around. And if Sam wanted those, we'll certainly put those in. It's noted that the applicant has rebuilt the front stone wall along the property. That's true. We went back and forth with DOT for many, many months. The original fight with DOT was they wanted the wall moved 2 feet behind the property line. The property line, the state right of way is 70 feet. I mean, it's a huge right of way. We went back and forth with them. So the section of the wall that was actually moved, DOT said, fine, we'll leave that in place. And then the secondary part of the wall, you can see a step back, 2 feet plus from what the original wall was set at.
So they're satisfied.
So, right, and we do have plans to DOT. We're waiting for their final approval for the sight line.
All right, so that's expected as well.
Yes, yep, but we can't do anything until we get their approval. I'm hoping to get their approval certainly by next week. So the applicant seeks approval to construct a new deck and ADA access ramp to the main entrance to the building. It appears that the portion of this ramp encroaches on the front setback. I made my client aware of that, and 2 feet, it has to go 2 feet off so it doesn't encroach on the in the town right, the state right of way. Lastly, the applicant should demonstrate that the changes in parking lot grade and configuration does not affect compliance of ADA parking spaces. We went out there a couple of days ago. We did the topo. We're going to have a plan when it does get paved for the paving contractor to follow this plan. It's relatively flat now anyway, so we won't have a problem getting that to conform to ADA standards, but we will have a plan for the paving contractor to have a detailed plan for the ADA.
While we're on that subject, sorry, I'm just still confused about, and maybe just because it's not completed yet, but I thought you're still not gonna be able to exit or
That's
egress
correct.
through that back lot there.
Correct.
So it's towards that other street.
Correct.
Okay, because there's still an opening there, I'm assuming that's gonna be blocked
That's
off.
only for delivery truck and garbage truck, that's it.
and emergency vehicles. It's gonna be closed off, there's gonna be signage, conage during, during
Yeah,
operation.
so that's what I say, you just can't tell from now. And also, you know, a lot of other things have changed, I wasn't sure if that was kind of lost in the sauce, so to speak.
My understanding from the original, you reverted back to the original plan,
Mhm.
which is removing the driveway from Stonewall Lane. You withdrew your application
Yeah.
to use Stonewall Lane
Oh,
as
okay,
an
well, then
exit.
I misspoke, then.
The applicant has spread millings all over the property.
No, it is, only for garbage and whatever. That's what it is.
I don't.
That is not what the master plan is approved.
That wasn't the original.
Yeah.
You withdrew that application
When we went back and forth with
because
DOT.
DOT approved
Yeah.
that for ingress and
Make no
egress.
difference. It's
Yeah.
not gonna change anything.
It's not gonna change. If we need to close it, we'll close it.
It's more-
It's shown on your plan as closing.
Yeah, okay, then we'll close it.
Just trying to
Okay.
verify the accuracy.
And then the other comment was about the fill, which I explained, the septic system generated all the excessive fill.
Chuck, can I ask you a question
Yeah.
while you're on that?
Oh,
You
yeah, go
said the fill was because of actual components of the septic system.
It was an
It's
additional,
850 cubic yards of actual material being brought to the
it
site.
was about 400 or maybe 500 cubic yards of actual material. It was under 500 that was actually brought on site for the select fill around the septic system.
That's not what your application indicated.
But the rest of the fill was generated from the septic system, from the void. So it seems like there's more fill because we have these voids under the ground.
All the fill in total associated with the septic system exceeds 500 cubic yards, correct?
No, the actual select fill that we brought in does not exceed 5.
Where's the other
The other fill,
fill?
it came in during when they,
Part of the septic system.
when the septic system was put in the ground, all that material was brought up. So some was taken off site and a lot of it was used on the site. So we didn't bring the fill in. But when we did our topo, it appeared that there was more fill because you have voids under the ground.
You're gonna need to do a better cut fill analysis.
Well, that
You're-
wasn't
you're
explained.
only allowed-
Well, I just got this at 4 o'clock, so that's not your fault, that's our fault.
Section 9 is very clear and it is in the regulations.
Right, I get
So-
that, but we did not bring in extra fill. The fill was generated from the voids underground, from the septic system. We didn't bring that fill in. We brought the select fill in.
Okay, then your calculations need to be updated.
Okay, not a problem. And lastly, sentence, the commission needs to determine whether these proposed changes are consistent with the originally approved master plan that was presented during the zone boundary amendment. My contention is that these changes don't affect anything in regards to how the plan looks, in regards to the master plan. He's put a lot of time and effort into doing this. I don't believe after the tree debacle happened, there hasn't been, I don't believe, one comment about the site, what's going on there, either from the neighbors.
And even ask the neighbors about the lights over there. Very well.
We've had no comments at all.
Good.
Time
You can
is,
drive right now over there, it just looks pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Not
You've
that
had-
bright.
Oh, that's very good.
yes,
It's not great.
The traffic law hasn't changed from what was originally proposed, so that the neighbors don't.
Less lights.
No,
Less.
from headlights from cars.
Right.
no, that entrance, as Aaron pointed out, will be closed off unless we want to come back here again to get that open, which I doubt.
No.
It's only access and egress is only from the main entrance, and that's gonna be widened, and like I said, we have a sight line to get to. We did all the clearing, that you've noticed over the Neck River, I mean,
I see that.
that's all been approved by the state. Verbally, now we need a formal approval from them to, get the actual encroachment permit, so he can pave the actual widening.
And then the last question I had was the water runoff with the new flag
Water. Yeah.
parking lot. How are you handling water runoff now?
So since we're still underneath the impervious, less pervious than we were before, stormwater is not an issue. We're lucky in the fact that, number one, there's a catch basin right in the corner of Stonewall and our site. And there's a nice wetland pocket, a nice depression that acts as a natural buffer for the stormwater. And they're actually basins right at the base of the entrance also. So stormwater will not be running onto Route 1, it's all contained on our site. And I had a dream that maybe perhaps we could get a administrative approval from P and Z, and all these items will be addressed as we need to and get you the information. We have the landscaping was a major item. The lighting, I don't believe we need an illumination plan. That's gonna be another couple of $1,000s. And just the money, like I said, not that the commission cares. He is burning through money. It's unbelievable. So we've just asked him for a little relief just to keep this thing moving. So maybe he can open instead of selling the place and having the whole thing collapse on its own weight.
So thank you for that. It's a lot of information. And I think some of us had a chance to go over it a little bit this afternoon. It seems to me that there are several levels of what changes and updates to what the previous plan had are needed. Some of them, Aaron, and correct me if I'm wrong, some of them just seem to be updates to the plan itself. The 100-foot wetlands review line.
Provision dates.
I've sort of made a list here of, some of the things you've already agreed to tonight to have keep it at 65 parking places. If the fire marshal says it's okay to leave it as grass, otherwise put the pavers in.
Yep.
So I don't know how you all are feeling. I mean, I know that you've had a lot and a lot has changed. I guess one question I had, which I asked about, when was the septic done in the health department inspection and everything like that? Wouldn't that have been the time to come back to us and say, well, we're going to put retaining walls here and this wall is going to, curve around like this, and
Never thought it was needed.
so you just didn't think it was. Okay.
I would beg to differ because staff was on site with you and told you of the need to return to the commission for modifications to the site plan in the fall.
That's okay.
And then I
That's
provided
in the record,
in writing.
Or a month, 2 months ago.
January.
Yeah, no, it just helps us understand it too,
Mhm.
what the sort of sequence of events is and what's required and what's not required.
The notification that Aaron's mentioning, I think, was sent in January. If I remember the date.
That was my written notification to the applicant.
Yeah,
And both the fire marshal and the zoning officer were on site in September and October to inform Mr. Lulaj of the need.
I could jump in.
yeah, go ahead, Bob.
So I agree with Carolyn on a few things, that some of the issues I think can be handled with the administrative approval. But there are some which I'm uncomfortable approving now without having specific submission. So the landscaping plan, I know you're saying that the stone wall is not going to impact that, but I can't know that without seeing the landscaping plan. The median in the parking lot is significantly smaller. So I have no sense anymore of what it is, and how the appearance is going to be, and what the overall impact. Remember, this was very controversial approval, and want to make sure that we hold to what was approved. So the plantings and specifically the screenings and all, I want to make sure are as they were approved, so that we can protect the neighbors and the surrounding area. So I can't do that without seeing a plan. That's the first one. The other one is the traffic, is even with going back to the original 65 spots. In the plan, I'm having a hard time understanding how the traffic's going to flow in and out with that retaining wall and that hairpin turn. So some kind of analysis showing that there's not going to be a lot of accidents, as simple as that. The fire truck can get in, I think, because they're just going to come in if someone's in the way, they just want to move in.
Yeah.
But someone coming around tight.
It's the speed over there.
It's okay, it's still a tight turn coming in, and from the plans, I can't tell.
They
I
need
get
20
that.
regulations, almost
get that.
24.
I don't know how I would make that turn, leaving, without some kind of control, so I just want to understand that. I don't know what that analysis would be, but something along that ways. I think closing off stone wall, you could just handle with the administration, go back to where it was. Going back to ACA, I think is necessary just because while the building is still the same, there's a lot of stone walls now. And I'd like to see what they think about how that looks. That's their job. How is that going to look from Boston Post, and let them make that decision
With the updated landscaping. plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let them know, let them see what the final's gonna be
Mhm.
and say this makes sense to them. That's their job. They're good at it. And then just following the process for the wetlands, I guess John's always doing that. And the only other thing is the increase in impervious coverage. I just don't know where and why. So where is the increase coming from? Where, and why is?
Oh, it was due to the walls and
Okay.
septic.
So it's
It
the walls.
bumped things, it moved things around significantly. There is an increase. Absolutely.
But primarily it's the impact on the neighbors from the screening plantings, the safety with respect to
Safety.
inside the parking lot.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I did do a drive-by today and I saw there was definitely room, because on the plan, I couldn't really tell how much room there was to navigate once you got past that curved wall. There's room for cars going in both directions, but they'll have to be inching
But
along.
even if it's not room over there, so there's enough room in the back to go 200 feet.
Mhm.
If somebody doesn't.
But if we
feel
demonstrate a
comfortable-
direction.
If somebody doesn't feel comfortable going right.
But I don't want to interpret what y'all are planning to do. It's simple as that. I looked at the plans, I tried to pull up the old plans, and it was, for me, there was me trying to interpret a lot of what your intent is, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to make a mistake and assume something wrong. So I just need those, for me, the traffic flow, how you guys can do it, and the
And safety issues
the
there.
safety issues in the plan. And the other stuff I think we can handle as administrative, but I need those at least to start. And I think while we're getting those, some of the other stuff
Will flow in.
will flow in and we'll have a
I agree.
better picture of what the situation is.
So in regards to what the commission actually wants for the next meeting, it would be the planting plan.
Landscaping plan
Landscaping.
Landscape, yeah, landscape. plan.
and updates to the site plan
Yeah, so we can, before and
that
after.
have been noted,
Some
And
kind of
design
traffic
as we know.
analysis.
For the interior.
Yeah,
traffic safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess this is a conditional yes, but we can't quite
yeah, not until I see
get
it,
it across
yeah.
the line.
Yeah.
Until we see those things.
So, Erin, what did you say happens next?
April
It's on here.
April's.
Sorry, what would be, excuse me? What would be
April
the purpose, again, just for my understanding of the ACA stuff?
So that's the advisory council on community.
Right, but like
improvements.
what would, can we just clarify what?
Because the stone walls have reconfigured the parking areas so much, and impacted landscaping. I mean, the building itself hasn't changed, obviously, right?
I think
There's an ADA ramp and a deck in the front of the
ADA ramp
property
and
now.
deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would care about that.
And the lighting has changed.
Lighting.
I don't know.
Anything else, Max?
No, I just, like, I'm very curious as to how much.
What does
time
ACA
that would
do?
cost, because I think like we're kind of nitpicking a little bit, or just talking about minute details and, you know, with like a traffic analysis, like just go drive through it. So I feel like, you know, with the amount of time this has taken, you know, we should consider.
I mean, I feel it's consistent with the master plan. That it does satisfy. A lot of time and effort. I mean, April 8th is the next ACA meeting. I don't know when, I know that's not the commission's purview, but I believe the lighting plan, these aren't major changes.
Right.
Like I said, you haven't received complaints. So if you can't get, let's say, from the lower parking lot, you can't make that right, so that gets blocked off, so no one can make it right. So you have to navigate the entire lot. I mean, so people will figure that out as it goes. And I don't understand why during business, you'll certainly see people complaining. People are going 5 miles an hour. I'm not sure whatever it is. No one's gonna get killed there. There might be a fender bender if that's even the case. But, you know, people will, if someone's coming in and someone wants to make a turn, I did it with the van today, just to
We did
test
it with
it.
Sam last night with my SUV.
Just to
and
see if it can happen.
It really can.
It is tight and maybe you wait 2 seconds for the car to get through and then you make it right. So, I mean, we can certainly do an analysis of that.
Yeah, I'm not asking for a
Whole traffic
whole
study.
traffic
No, I
study.
know.
I
No,
just-
Just show us
The
the plan.
new plan has no dimensions on it. I can't,
No,
I
I
can't,
get that. I
I
get,
just want to know.
no, I
what
get
we're
that.
saying.
And I was just hoping. And
I
the
get
other thing was going back to
Appreciate
CAM, you know, I guess that's by regulations, it has to go to CAM. You know, they could take 30 days or longer to even to even get back to you guys for Tammy. And I know sometimes,
Well, it's not a mandatory referral to DEP.
oh, it's not, okay. I
It's
thought it
not
was
a
mentioned.
mandatory referral, but when you reference regulations, that's exactly the point that I'm trying to make here to the commission. Maxwell, you asked why some of these may seem like small changes. Section 29 for a site plan requirements is specific. It is within your purview to review internal circulation and safety maneuvers of a parking lot, especially one that has been changed,
Altered.
not at the design of the original design engineer.
Yep.
So those, you know, lighting as well, lighting and the request for a photometric plan is standard practice when modifications are made. Landscaping plan updates, the same thing. So all those, and it is a requirement that when an application is submitted to you for a site plan, it is referred by the commission to ACA. That is why you are doing it.
Right, right.
These are steps in the regulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 29.1.1 makes that pretty clear. Of the requirements of ACA and
I get it.
inland wetlands.
Oh, I get it too.
We didn't write those regulations.
I'm about it. I mean, it's just, we're not trying to hold you guys up. We
Yeah.
spent a lot of time.
We've been
Everyone
on
wants
it
it.
for 3 years before, so-
I understand.
And it's looking great,
It's
by the way.
It's an issue of, these things are very visible in the public. We have a responsibility to represent the town of this. A significant number of changes have been made. They're not 100% clear by your own admission. We have to do the right thing and make sure that that's clear. Otherwise, if something happens down the road, you can say, here it is yet again, something else was built, things weren't followed
let it go
properly,
through.
and you let it go through. And that's not our job. Our job is the opposite. It's not personal.
We'll see.
We can't wait to see it done too. So Chuck, do you feel like you have a clearer list or?
Traffic. flow.
Yeah, I mean, I have a clear list. I know the commission has latitude as to what they can and can't do, and I understand you need to follow regulations. That I get, it was just the timing. It's
Yeah.
horrible. No, I know, and it's not your fault at all. I was just hoping to get some relief and declare these minor, because everything can be addressed. John Cunningham will do a great landscape plan, so no one's gonna drive by and say, oh my God, that looks horrible. Or someone does complain,
Sure.
plant another bush, for the neighbor, or whatever they want.
Right.
Traffic flow patterns, people figure that out, and we can certainly direct traffic any which way we want. We have, so so safety, health, and welfare is addressed on this. And it does conform to the master plan that you all agreed on.
Generally,
And there's
yes.
nothing, and a stone wall, who cares? I mean, New England, there's stone walls everywhere. I don't
But we
see.
have to care.
Oh, I'm saying, no, people love stone walls. Most people love stone walls, and I don't see ACTA saying, oh my God, get rid
I
of
even
it.
I actually like the way the new wall is distinct from the old wall near that little swale, because
No, I get it all.
I
I'm
think
just
there's certain
trying,
things that were done really well, so.
I'm just on behalf of my client.
Yeah.
I know the pain that he's been going through.
We do too.
And the hundreds, well, millions of dollars that he spent trying to bring something good to the town. There's not that many, well, there are a
That's
couple of
what's the
restaurants.
purpose of bringing those pictures over.
But I know in
Yeah.
retrospect,
I remember that from our
he
previous-
might not even, if he knew going into, and I know caveat emptor, but I know
Yeah.
for a fact that he probably wouldn't have bought this.
Yeah. But it's gonna be great.
Yeah, we appreciate all that.
Did you say that you're suing for some DOT sightline plan?
Yeah, so we had submitted that, the actual widening of the driveway. They've already verbally approved it and they know it has to get widened.
Okay,
They finally agreed the big battle to get off of Stonewall Lane, because they insisted we close both entrances off.
right.
And then the neighbors were up in arms, so we were going back and forth.
And it wasn't as safe to do that.
No, it was a horrible sight. It was hideous.
Is worse,
Yeah. So, the lunatics are going to decide.
Yeah, well,
But we managed to save the two
Throw us into
mature
that part.
trees.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and that was a battle to even save those, because those were within the sight line, but Raj from DOT finally agreed with those trees.
But we made that clearing off of the river.
And then the clearing by the river.
That made that improve the site.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
and it looks great. Nice to see the Neck River.
I would recommend that you reach out to Maria regarding the inland wetlands permit process.
It's on my list.
All right, so let's get that all together. And show
By
us.
April 8th.
So if
That's
ACCA,
ACCA.
so if ACCA acts on this April 8th, if they're all happy with it, and I can get Maria something, then when would you be able to hear this?
Depends if inland wetlands agency is requiring modifications.
Our next meeting.
So let's say
After- after the
everything goes great.
Our next meeting
Our
is
next
the
meeting?
20th,
April 20th,
17.
17th, sorry. That's right,
April 17th.
3rd
Okay.
and 2nd.
Okay,
Today's the
that's it. My things to change.
the homework. Thank you so much,
Okay.
and we're sorry that it's
Yeah, sorry.
taking so long.
Just feel bad for so long, but I strongly believe after 3 years, that was somebody else was born in this state, this country, we won't go through this.
Yeah,
I
I strongly believe that.
Well, I'm sorry you're making those statements this evening.
So-
all right, well,
Yep, but, yeah,
I think they treat everyone the same. That's my opinion. I know this, man. I know.
You know, very bad.
Not by us.
Not the committee, not, just a lot of nonsense.
also there are, there are
I think
requirements,
that's
you're not
enough.
alone in moving walls around. We've had other people move walls around too and come back to us then and have to reapply and go through it after the wall's constructed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good time.
Okay, the last agenda item is village's notification about an administrative approval of 25-06, 180 Town Road. That is the Neck River Elementary School new sign. Erin, did you want to say anything more or show us?
Yeah, when administrative approvals are online, on the agenda, it's just to indicate to you that the zoning enforcement officer reviewed a minor site plan modification. This is in the same location that the commission approved for the ground sign to be within the same dimensions. It simply says Neck River Elementary. Black sign on it's very similar, if you've driven down Green Hill Road, the Polson.
new Paulson sign.
Polson sign is the same in Brown Elementary, that sign as well. They're all looking to have uniform ground signs now for the schools.
It's nice. You couldn't read the other one, the other letters had faded. Paulson.
I know that's an old classic.
They look good. All right, next on the agenda, approval of minutes. We have two sets of minutes, February 20th and March 6th. John Duza?
Sure. February 20th, 2025 meeting, members present, Snow, Bugda, Downs, Souza, Morgan, O'Connor, Reinhardt, Rubin, and Karoon. Motion for approval.
I was not here.
I'll second.
Okay.
That was a last minute scratch, Jim, sorry.
The
The last meeting, the previous meeting. Yeah.
Carol, Michael, thank you. All right, so for February 20th, so, wait, so Andy, you're saying you were there?
Oh, no, I was the 20th. I thought you said, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Fielder one.
Never mind.
Was Jeff Downs at the February 20th meeting?
I do not recall.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think he was.
That's the only correction I could see, otherwise Terry was right on target. Anything else for 20th? Okay. Motion to approve the 20th.
All in favor?
Okay. March 6th meeting, members present, Reinhardt, Snow, Bugda, Peckinpah, O'Connor, Anduza, and Karoon was, you're listed as alternate present for the 6th.
I think I had a.
He was seated.
In your
Oh,
seat,
yeah.
all right? Motion for approval? Thank you. Max,
Yeah.
second. Any corrections or edits? So Max was seated as a regular member, otherwise Raquel was on target. Okay, vote to approve for the 6th. Great.
Thank you, John. Okay, any remarks? I just want to briefly say that we're planning the next housing forum for April 3rd. Call out for anyone who's willing to facilitate again, All good?
Bob did an excellent job.
I'll do it. One.
And you did not facilitate, but you probably did without even trying.
Third? Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll send out lists and invites and whoever wants to participate as facilitator. I think we'll have also some Economic Development Commission people and also the Affordable Housing Committee
Wow.
will be
Some
present.
members, yeah.
I think some of them will be present as well. So I'll send out, and get that organized.
We'll, yes, and we'll have a flyer available, hopefully tomorrow for, the meeting notice, and its special location is going to be at the Brown School Cafe.
Yeah.
Cafe.
So it gives a little bit more space. We'll have about 90 chairs in there, in a table format again, to be able to, provide some summaries from the last meeting, what the commission learned, and, to share that with the public and get a little more, refined and ask some additional questions to continue gathering information. And then hoping for a third and a fourth meeting where the commission can now start to look at options, some things, ideas
Housing
to
options,
help address some
zoning
of these
options.
questions and get some feedback specifically from folks as we move forward. So we'll build off of each session here.
Sounds great.
A mini series.
Any other remarks, comments, questions? Wishes for happy spring. Have a motion to adjourn.
Everyone.
Art, seconded by Andy. No further discussion, all in favor. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
It is 8:10.
Thanks, Janet.